Hello everyone, happy Tuesday and happy So What Day. It is also happy webcast day. Today is the day that we are going live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time over on our education platform, sewingonline.sulky.com. And we are going to be presenting our 3D hair embroidery webcast in partnership with Embroider Shop. So I hope you're all ready and you've got your kit and you are ready to just dive into this technique of creating 3D hair out of beautiful sulky threads. So that's what we're going to be learning over at 2 p.m. Eastern Time at sewingonline.sulky.com. If you haven't registered yet, there is still time. And all you need to do is head on over to the link that I put in the description of today's post. Click on that link, register. It's absolutely free to attend. And just for registering, we will also give you a free embroidery design. It's actually a text design that says friends in a really cute font, and you can combine it with this girlfriend's design that you're seeing here. We're going to give you lots of inspiration for what to do with this design, how to turn it into another project or add it to a project. And then I'm also going to show you how to combine this design with the freebie so you can create a friendship card or something like this. It's really great if you need some Valentine or Galentine gifts for Friday's Valentine's Day. This would make a really, really cool pillow, wall hanging, piece of art. Like I said, a greeting card. And the great thing is you can personalize these ladies however you want, using different applique fabrics for their shirts, and then of course choosing different hair colors by choosing different sulky threads. So for this event, if you haven't gotten a kit already, no worries, because it's still on sale, and it's on sale until midnight tonight. So here's a little bit closer look of what the hair looks like. That is all made out of thread and all done in the hoop of your embroidery machine. So the gal on the left has straight hair, and you could see all those different shades of colors in her hair. That's because we're using a variegated rayon thread. Sulky calls those Vari rayons, and it just creates a lot of different shades in sort of the same color family. So it's really perfect for hair. It really makes it look real. And that is rayon thread, because rayon thread is what we're going to use for the straight hair. Now, for the curly hair on the right, you need to use Sulky 30 weight cotton thread. From what I understand, there's also been success using 12 weight cotton thread, which is much, much thicker than 30 weight cotton thread. But for these designs, we're going to use 30 weight cotton thread. It's a little bit easier to work with, comes in all these great blendable varieties as well. So as I mentioned, the kit is on sale until midnight tonight. So you can still grab up a kit, and there's some different options for the kit as well. The base kit is what you need to create the skin tones and then the pants, the applique pants, which as you saw, we're in two different shades of denim. So, so you'll get 6 skin tone shades, so you can mix and match and create the skin tone of the people that you are representing on your project. And then you will also get 2 spools of thread for those jeans. One of them is a gold color, and one of them is dusty navy. Or dusty gray or something like this. It's actually a really great color that coordinates with a lot of different denim shades. So if you're not going to use denim for your pants applique portion of the design, you can pick up some rayon, oops, wrong one. You can pick up some rayon thread colors in the color of your choice to go with those appliques. Here's a different take on the same exact design, just to show you some different hair colors, different treatments for the hair. We're going to learn how to style the hair in different ways. All of this will be revealed at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope that you will be joining us in a short while, in a couple hours, when we go live in partnership with Embroider Shop. All right, so for the hair shades, so after you purchase up the main kit, which is the stabilizer that you need and the threads I just described, you'll also need to choose either the rayon hair shade sampler, which includes all these great colors that represent a lot of different hair colors in those variegated shades, and then also a couple of solids. Or you can also add on the 30 weight cotton sampler for the curly hair, okay? You can add both to your cart and save even more. So what we've done is we've set you up with the base kit, and then we have options for adding on the different hair. If you want to represent somebody with purple hair, pink hair, something like this, you can add another one of those variegated rayons for straight hair, or 30 weight blendables or solids from our 30 weight cotton line as well. All of those threads are also on sale for the webcast until midnight tonight. So you can get some great deals on these thread packs today only. All right, so I hope you will join us. Let's see. Sandra is set up. She says, I've used all weights of cotton thread for the hair. They do all work. Looking forward to your take with Zandra's. And then I saw somebody else saying that they're all set up. Such a cute project. I hope you'll join us, Betsy. Oh, thank you for mentioning this. Okay, Sheila is saying, what happened with the Greece trip? All right, so let's see. Okay, sorry, I thought somebody else had a question about that as well. Okay, so our Greece tour, as you know, because I've been talking about it for so long, was scheduled for May 2025, the end of May going into June. We have quite a few people signed up for this trip. So I don't know if you're aware, but Greece just had some terrible earthquakes. And as a result, some of the places we were going to be staying at, things of this nature, were affected by those earthquakes. And there were just a lot of aftershocks happening, things of this nature. So for the safety of all involved, we have moved the Greece trip to 2026. So from my understanding, the people that were registered have been informed. Hopefully you will still be able to join us in 2026, and that you can, kind of shift your schedule for your travels. I do apologize. It was just, Craft Tours really recommended the change because of those earthquakes. And, we've really got to think about the safety of everyone involved there, here, everywhere. So we are moving the Greece trip to 2025. But that also means that if you were kind of on the fence or you thought maybe next year, right? Now you can join us next year in 2026. It's the same timing. So it'll be end of May going into June. And now we have tons of time to plan. More people can join us for this trip of a lifetime. So you can check that out using the link that I put in the description of today's post. The link for our Germany trip is actually the same as the link for our Greece trip. So I just put a sort of generic link in the description of today's post. So you can head on over, check out our Germany Christmas market tour that's happening at the end of this year. And then you can also take a look at Greece for 2026. All right. So thank you, Janice. She says, best wishes to everyone in Greece. Better to be safe and postpone. Agreed. I won't say that I'm, not disappointed because, if you've watched any So What's, maybe in the last 6 months, you've been hearing me talk about this Greece trip. But it's okay. We're going to go next year. We can all be together in Greece and hopefully be safer. And yes, there was also concern about volcanic activity. So yeah, I'm hoping that everything turns around, everyone recovers. And, you know, we'll be well on our way in 2026. All right, Cecilia is saying, is this the bunny border class? So yes, I am going to show you how to make a cute little Felty Bunny Garland today during So What? Just had to, you know, take care of some business, answer some questions before we got started. And I also like to give people a little bit of time to come onto the live stream as well. So I guess let's get started with our bunny garland. So this couldn't be simpler. This is what I like to call a make in an afternoon project because it really takes no time. Or, you know, obviously it takes time, but you get the idea. It is very simple, depending on how many bunnies you choose to create. Now, this would be so adorable as a garland for Easter, even just a garland to celebrate springtime. You could create these mini little bunnies and kind of cluster them on a blank wreath. Maybe even one of those vine wreaths. It would look really cute. You can also make them into larger sizes. So when you grab up this pattern at sulky.com, it's absolutely free. It will say $0. I linked to it in the description of today's post, so you can click on over and add it to your cart. When you add it to your cart, you have to go through that whole checkout process as if you're buying something, all right? You can add whatever else you would like to your cart, a kit for today's webcast, your hair samplers, what have you. After you go through the checkout process and your, purchase is verified, if you're getting other items, this pattern, this digital pattern, will then go into your Sulky account at sulky.com. So you'll go into your account, you can find the pattern, download it, print it out, and have it forever there in your Sulky account. On the last few pages of the pattern are the little bunny templates, and it comes in 3 sizes. All right, so the smallest size, which I have here on the template, is what is used for the little cute little tiny little bunny garland. This would be also adorable for a baby shower. If you're hosting a baby shower or a kid's room, you could, put this garland on a back wall. So cute, right? I just think baby when I see the pastels. But at any rate, you'll get the small size for the garland. And then there's a medium size, which I've already cut out to use to show you a couple things today. And then there's a larger bunny size as well that takes up the whole page. So you'll get 3 bunny sizes you can use for different things. The medium size is really cute, again, for like a wreath or to tuck in a little Easter basket. Something like this. I also thought it would be really cute to create these for like an Easter brunch table setting. You could make one for each person that's coming over to your brunch, set it on their little place setting or their, little plate or what have you, and even embroider some little individual things on them to kind of personalize them for the recipient. If you don't want to add the little pom-pom on the bottom, because, obviously we're looking at these bunnies from behind, you could instead put some little tiny little button eyes, maybe add some whiskers using some thread, and have it be, like we're looking at the bunny from the front. If you want to create these freestanding to have like a little stuffy or a little place card, something like that, you could create obviously the face on one side and then add your little cottontail on the other side so that you have a front and a back to your freestanding bunnies. So lots of things you can do with these simple bunny templates. And they really remind me of Peeps. They're just the shape outline of a bunny. Couldn't be simpler. Let's see, we have a question. Is this digitized for machine embroidery? Nope, this is not a machine embroidery project. These are made out of Sulky Felty. And we are adding a little bit of stabilizer to the Felty so that it doesn't shift or anything while we are sewing it. The stabilizer also helps the bunny hang nice and straight over time. There won't be any, sagging or anything like that if you pull this out year after year. The stabilizer is going to help keep it nice and flat and straight. And then we're going to stuff them with a little bit of polyester fiber fill, or if you prefer, the stuffing of your choice, we'll say. Stuff it a little bit. And we're going to use our Sulky multi-purpose turning tool, which you all know I can never find it when I'm talking to you about it. But I linked directly to that tool in the description of today's post because it is absolutely the perfect thing to use to kind of get the fiber fill up into the ears and stuff those a little bit as well. So it's a little bit plushy, a little bit felty, and then we're using 30 weight cotton thread to sew these guys up. And what's great is the Sulky doesn't fray, or the Felty doesn't fray. So we can sew them with right sides facing out, have a little bit of a raw edge. And again, they couldn't be simpler. This is a great project to teach a little one or even just a beginner of any age how to sew, because we're sewing these curves. We're making something really small that's really doable, that you can finish, like I said, in an afternoon or less, maybe even in an hour or less, depending on, how many you're creating. Oh, Susie Q has a great idea. She says finger puppets would be fun also. Really, really cute idea. Love that. All right. Oh, Denise says the link isn't working. Sorry about that. But I see that it's been put in the chat, so hopefully you can grab it. You can also search sulky.com for Bunny Garland, and hopefully that will come up for you. You'll find the free digital pattern, and you can add it to your cart. All right, so I mentioned that there is a little bit of stabilizer involved with the Felty as well. So for your materials, you'll need the Felty of your choice. I have some light blue just to show you the benefits of using that stabilizer. And I'm choosing to use the medium size bunny. I just thought it was a great size that you would be able to see what I'm doing really well. But again, that smaller bunny is what's intended for the garland because they're just so cute. I mean, just little tiny bunnies hanging on this little garland. I love it. And then your 30 weight cotton thread. Mine is actually on the machine here in the color that matches my light blue Felty. So you also need Sulky. Where did it go? Where did it go? You also need Sulky Totally Stable Stabilizer. I don't know if you all have used Totally Stable before. It's a very unique stabilizer because you can fuse it to the back of your fabric, but then you can also tear it away. So it's not a permanent fuse that you're getting like you would if you were using a fusible cutaway stabilizer, right? That when you fuse a cutaway stabilizer, there's no cutting it away actually. It's called a cutaway because it's a permanent stabilizer. All right. So that's what's really unique about the Totally Stable stabilizer. It's also a really nice weight. So whereas Tear Easy has no fusible properties at all, you would tear it away after your embroidery or after your decorative stitching or what have you is complete. Totally Stable is also a tear away, but again, you can fuse it. So I have it fused to the wrong side of my Felty, which also helps stabilize it for cutting. But I'm going to try something else, and I'm going to actually cut out the bunnies after I have sewn them. This is another sort of technique or method that is helpful to avoid slippage. It's going to make it so we don't even have to pin these pieces of felt together. So that stabilizer is helping us do a number of things with this project. But then you can see we can peel it away. There's no residue added after I have fused this with my iron. I don't know how they do it. but it's amazing stuff. And if you haven't tried Totally Stable, you should grab some up because I think you'll find tons of uses for it. Sometimes we want a tearaway stabilizer, but we want to be able to fuse it to, let's say, even a quilting cotton fabric, so that while we're doing machine embroidery, specifically, you know, our stabilizer and our fabric are acting as one. They're fused together. It really, really helps stabilize and add thread count to that almost lighter weight fabric, so that we can add tons of stitching to it without it puckering or buckling after we get it out of the hoop. All right, so what I've done is I've drawn my 2 bunnies onto the non-fusible side of the Totally Stable. And I will say, when you get your Totally Stable out of your 1-yard pack or off of the roll, however you're using it, one side almost feels like wax paper. All right, that's the fusible side. So don't go putting your iron on that waxy feeling side. All right. But again, it leaves no residue on the back of your fabric. So don't worry about that. It doesn't melt into the fibers. Again, I don't know how they do it. All right. So I've transferred 2 bunnies to the non-fusible side of the Totally Stable, and then I fused it to the wrong side of my Felty. Now you might be saying, oh, Felty has a wrong side? It's very difficult to decipher. Excuse me. So you can really just pick one side of the Felty and be like, that's my right side. If you were to hold it up to the light really well, you could see the wrong side looks a little bit more compressed almost than the right side. So that's kind of how I figure out what's the right side and the wrong side. But quite honestly, if you pick a side and just go with it for your whole project, all your bunnies are going to look the same. They're going to have the same outer texture, and you're going to be fine. All right. So now that I have my 2 bunnies transferred and fused onto the back of my Felty, I'm just going to cut them apart so that I have 2 separate bunnies. And again, I'm leaving that stabilizer intact for now, right? And I'm going to put them right sides together. And actually, I didn't even need, this is just occurring to me, I didn't even need to draw 2 bunnies. I can just draw 1 bunny and sew from the right side if I wanted to, right? All right. So there's really several ways you can go about doing this. You can leave your Totally Stable inside and just have 1 layer. So that's what I was thinking I would do. I would have 1 layer inside, 1 layer outside, and the outer layer I'm going to tear away after the stitching is complete. Or you could put these wrong sides together and transfer your bunny on the opposite side, right? So many different ways you can kind of think about doing this project. I want to have that layer of Totally Stable between my Felty. So in that case, I would actually need to, thankfully it's easily removable, I would actually need to tear away this one and put it on the opposite side of the Felty so that it's in between those layers. So now I have 1 bunny that's on the wrong side of the Felty. That's going inside the layer. I'm going to put them right sides out. And then I have 1 bunny that I just moved to the right side. And I'm going to sew along those lines that I transferred. So this would be maybe the back side of my bunny, front side of my bunny, however you want to look at it. Then I have that other one in between that I did not need to mark. Hopefully I'm not confusing everyone because I just had to move around my stabilizer a little bit. All right, so I do not have a needle camera on my sewing machine today because I'm set up for my webcast a little bit later on. So you won't be able to see how I'm sewing my bunnies together. But I do want to get a little bit of the sewing done so that you can see how it tears away. I can also lengthen my stitch length a little bit to like a 3.0. Or you can kind of do your favorite top stitch. But when I'm using the 30 weight cotton thread, I like to lengthen my stitch length just a little bit because it is a thicker thread. So I feel like the stitches look a little bit better that way at the 3.0. So when you get to these, when you get to the inside edges of your curves, I'm going to make sure my needle is down into the project, and then my presser foot lifts up a little bit, and I can just pivot my layers of Felty around so that I can then get to the next curve. Just going to sew to the next little divot of the bunny. Make sure my needle ends up being down, pivot, and then I'm going to do the bottom edge of the bunny. However, I do need to leave an opening for turning, okay? Or not for turning, excuse me. We're not turning this. I need to leave an opening for stuffing the bunny, okay? So don't forget to leave that opening. If you are drawing your bunny onto your stabilizer, you can actually not draw the bottom part so you don't accidentally sew over it. So I'm just cutting my threads there at the opening. And your opening only needs to be large enough so you can get your multi-purpose turning tool in there and a little bit of fiber fill stuffing so you can stuff it to your, desired plumpness. Okay. So again, I'm coming around the opposite side of the face. I'm going to leave my needle in, pivot my Felty layers, and then complete the cute little ears. And then every time you stop and start, it's really great if you have a machine that automatically lifts the presser foot for you. I love that feature. In fact, when I'm using a machine that doesn't have that feature, I often forget that my presser foot won't lift when I just take my foot off of the presser foot. So I have to manually do it with my hand. And I'm just so trained to not do that. It's a little bit foreign for me now. All right, so now I have my bunny sewn and I have my opening at the bottom for stuffing. And you can see there's my little opening. And here's what the back of my bunny looks like. Well, maybe we'll consider this our front. And yes, you can use 30 weight cotton in your bobbin as well. It will take it no problem. And that way your front looks just as good as your back. All right, so you might be wondering, what are we going to do with the stabilizer now? It's showing on the right side. Well, first off, I want to tear away the stabilizer beyond my bunny stitches, the stabilizer that is between those layers. So I'm just going to get it started. And that way, when I trim up my bunny, I don't have any stabilizer showing between my seam allowances on the outside of the bunny. And it tears away just as cleanly as Sulky Tear Easy would tear away. And then you can even get in there and tear it away slightly at the opening so that it doesn't show when your bunny is complete and stuffed and hanging. So first tear away that layer. Nice and easy. Okay. And then you might need a little bit of assistance tearing away between the ears. I usually like to keep a pair of tweezers. If you have a serger, your serger tweezers might assist as well. Since I don't have that right near me, I'm just going to leave it intact. And now we're going to tear away the stabilizer on the front side of your bunny. So you want to start on the edge and tear it towards the stitching so that you don't pop any of those stitches out when you're tearing away the stabilizer. So it's helpful to kind of hold your hand on the inside of the bunny and then just kind of tear it away towards yourself, like you're ripping a postage stamp. very easy. I would say the most difficult part is probably going to be getting the stabilizer from in between those ears. And quite honestly, it's really not difficult. So, very simple. And if you're super confident in your Felty, which, you know, I use Felty all the time, I don't find that it really stretches out of shape when I'm doing any project with it. But the additional stabilizer is helpful for transferring the pattern without having to mark onto your Felty, or using a paper pattern and holding it on there or pinning it. You know, it really just eliminates any need for pinning. Just going to get the last little bits of stabilizer. And so now we have our front bunny, our back bunny. Everything looks great. We have our stabilizer in between the layers that's going to help it retain its shape over time when it's hanging. And now we can simply cut just beyond our stitching line to finish our bunny. You do need a little bit of hand sewing to close up the bottom of the bunny after it's been stuffed, but couldn't be simpler. You can also use a decorative edge scissor. Like if you have a wavy blade scissor, something would be cute, or even pinking shears would be adorable on your little bunny. And really, I'm just eyeballing about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch beyond the stitching line or so. You could create a little bit wider seam allowance if you are using a pinking shears or a wavy blade of some sort. So at the opening, I like to leave that a little bit larger so that when I do need to turn it under, I have some Felty to work with. So I'm just going to make my opening, I don't know, a little bit wider, I suppose, than the rest of the circle. So at this point, you would take your multi-purpose turning tool and add some little bits of fiber fill in the layers. Use that turning tool to get a little bit into the ears as well. If you wanted to, you could add additional like inner ear little appliques. As I mentioned, a face. And then on the other side, you could add your little pom-pom bunny tail, which you would just add using some fabric glue, or even a hot glue gun would be a great choice for that. So after you have your little bunny stuffed, you're going to turn your raw edges to the wrong side. Or actually, you don't even need to do that. What am I talking about? We are showing the raw edges. So after you have it stuffed, you can move your stuffing a little bit out of the way and just finish up sewing your bunny by following that lower edge curve. I'm so trained to sew things with right sides together that when I'm not sewing it right sides together, obviously I get a little confused. All right, so now I have the bottom of my bunny is sewn. It's a little bit wonky, but you know what? With each one that you do, you'll get better and better at it. And then I'll trim away that little edge that I left open. And you have your little Easter bunny or your little peep for your garland. Yours will obviously be stuffed a little bit so that it has some dimension to it. It's nice and puffy. You can glue your little bunny tail to the bottom. And then to string them together for your garland, you can use some simple twine, like as shown here. You could use even some yarn would be great. Thread a large eye needle with whatever you're using to string up your garland, and then just go through the back side of the bunny with your needle to thread your garland through. And you can adjust the spacing of them a little bit as you go, and have your very cute, very adorable little bunny garland. So this one is showing 7 little bunnies. You could make 20. You could make this as long as you need it to be or want it to be, and then create some other bunnies for other uses. Like I said, this would be really cute, tucked in to a cute little Easter basket, and personalized with a name, maybe for a place setting, something like that. So very sweet, very easy to do, and the help of that Totally Stable is a nice addition. As you can see, when I'm just holding it here, it stands up. So if it didn't have the addition of that stabilizer, our Felty Bunny would be like this. All right? But that Totally Stable makes it nice and crisp. All right. It still has that softness to it because of the Felty, don't get me wrong, but it is a nice addition, and you can't see it at all because we've torn it away close to the stitching line before we trimmed it up. So really cute, sweet little project. Definite ways to personalize that I'm sure everyone has some really great ideas to share in that regard. And you can find these white pom-poms at craft stores, places like Michael's. You can even find them in like the art supply area of like Target and Walmart, things like that. And they come in all different sizes and colors too. So just a little bit dab of glue and couldn't be cuter. All right, so Pam says, so cute, can't wait to make them. Cute baby shower gift, absolutely. And yes, the pom-pom would cover up the bottom where you finish sewing it together. Sorry, I had that confusion about turning under the opening because I'm just so used to doing that in things like bags and pockets and stuff, but don't even need to turn that under. You just leave it raw and sew the remainder of it up. So very, very cute. Denise says, what a sweet project. Garland is so cute. Yeah, and the entire tutorial along with the 3 bunny template sizes are all included in that free pattern at sulky.com. So once you get this in your Sulky account, you can make the small, medium, and large, and then there's also a page of instructions as well that include using that Totally Stable. All right, perfect. Yeah, see, it must be so easy because no one really has any questions about it. They're just excited to try it, so that's a good sign. All right, Noreen says, I'm signed up for the hair video this afternoon. Can I watch it after the event? Great question. Thank you for asking it. And the answer is yes. So with any of our live events, which if you missed the beginning of today's So What, this is our educational event happening this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time at sewingonline.sulky.com. If you are registered for this event, and if you're not, you can still register, and you can't make it, or you have to leave early, something like this. After our live event ends, it becomes a recording that you can come back to the event page and watch at any time. So even if you join us for the live event, you buy a kit today, your kit arrives in a few days, and you need a little refresher, you can head back to the event page and watch it again in its entirety. You also then have the option to make it full screen. I've even heard of people casting it to a TV in their sewing room, things like this. And at that point, you can pause, rewind, fast forward, review anything that you might have missed or need a little bit of clarification on. So it's a really, really great idea to register for all of our events, even if you can't make it. Because not only do you have access to that recording when the live event is over, but you'll also be able to grab up your freebie for that event, which for this event, our freebie is a text design that says friends. It's really great to combine that with this girlfriend's design, or you can use it on its own as well and maybe make some last minute Valentine cards or Valentine gifts or cute personalized tote bags and things like that with it. All right. Oh, Susie Q has a great idea for that mini Felty bunny. She says this would be really cute as a pen or pencil topper for an Easter basket. I didn't even think about using it as a pencil topper, but that is so cute. So you would basically just leave that opening that you created to stuff it and then stick a pencil inside and have it be a little pencil topper. That is such a cute idea. Love it. See, that's why we come together here for So What, and we get everybody's ideas and everybody's great takes on the pattern. That is the cutest idea, and I love it. All right, she's also asking, can you sign up for past events? Yes, you can. So when you go to sewingonline.sulky.com, up at the top, it'll say Education Offerings. Click on that, and you will see all of our past and some of our future events. And you can add them to your personal library just by registering for them. So you would click on an event that interests you, read a little bit about it. If you want to register, you register right then and there. And if it's a past event, all you need to do is head to the event page after it ends up in your library, and you can view everything. Get the freebies, learn about the products that were used during that webinar or webcast or sewing session or video cast. We have a lot of different kinds of events on that education platform. So we have our free events, which is what is happening today, our free webinars. We also have video casts, which have a nominal fee. They also include freebies, but they have real-time sewing at the machine using a multi-camera setup. Then we also have our longer format sewing sessions, which are multiple videos, multiple lessons, and lots of high value freebies involved. So there's kind of like three different sort of categories of events you can choose from. So depending on, maybe it's the project that's interesting you. Maybe it's the technique. Maybe it's the freebie that you want, or the designs or the patterns that are included, that type of thing. We also have what we call Start Anytime Sew-Alongs. A Start Anytime Sew-Along is a full video tutorial that takes you through the project from start to finish with really, really tight camera shots showing you all the sewing at the machine, everything at the cutting table, all the steps of the process of that particular project. So this one that's behind me right here, the Scarlet bag, this was our latest Start Anytime Sew-Along. And since it is Start Anytime, you're guiding yourself through that video from start to finish. So again, if you need to review anything, if your kit comes and you forget how to make a tassel, or you want to make a strap in the future, something like that, you can head to that part of that Start Anytime Sew-Along and review that information. So you can check out the Scarlet bag Start Anytime Sew-Along. And last I checked, we still had some kits available as well for these beautiful bags. You can choose from this great one, which is called Daybreak. It has faux leather straps, faux leather flap, faux leather tassel with this great antique hardware that you use on the flap and then you also use on the straps. Comes with these great rivets that make, going through all of this bulk much, much easier. You also get some great foam interlining, which is used to create structure in this bag. Look how it stands up on its own. It has really great structure no matter what you fill it with. It also has an interior slip pocket, so you can organize your things quite nicely inside of that bag. This is really great for beginners as well as people who are experienced bag makers. It comes together really nicely, and it features quilting in the style of your choice. And you can see all the options available to you for that, also included in the video. So this is a quilty take on the Scarlet bag in the Daybreak colorway. And then we also have the Breeze colorway, which last I checked, we had very limited quantities of the Breeze colorway left. I think because it's just so great for springtime coming up. This nice turquoise color. This one has cork fabric for the strap and cork fabric for the flap and the tassel, and then this great nickel hardware that's used on the flap and then also used for the strap. And you can see again those rivets, which make it really nice and pull it all together. All right, so this one also has quilting involved. It's just straight stitch quilting on either side of the little dandelion motif. It's a little bit greenish, grayish canvas fabric. And again, that great foam interlining, giving it that beautiful structure. So I know I went off on a tangent because you asked me about being able to watch the events at any time, signing up for past events. Those are always available to you at sewingonline.sulky.com. As long as we've already gone live with it, you can watch it at any time as long as you are registered. All right, perfect. Linda says, I register for all the events because many times life gets in the way with my having fun, right? That way I can go back if I find I need a refresher course in a technique. So great. Well, that's perfect, Linda. I'm so glad that you're taking advantage of that because it's an absolutely amazing perk, right? I mean, Sulky is very generous. None of their events expire. There's a lot of, other companies and things out there where, you sign up for an event. It's only available for you for, a month or 3 months or something like that. And then you lose access. And I get it. It takes a lot of time and effort to put these courses together and things. So I completely understand that. But Sulky is very generous in their education model, and everything is available to you at any time. As long as you're registered, it never expires. So pretty great if I do say so. All right. Let's see. I find I go back and make more of certain designs and need the refresher. Hi, Colleen. Yeah, that's also one of the great benefits, I find too, like just with buying embroidery designs online, buying digital patterns, things like that, I'll make something and then, 6 months go by, a year goes by or something like that. And I want to make it for someone else, or it's the perfect gift for someone, or where did I put that design? Where did I save it on my computer? Because I'm just not as organized as I want to be. So it's nice also to be able to go back to that event page and re-download the pattern or resave the embroidery because I can't find it anywhere. So it's really nice that there's this hub for all of the things associated with that event that you can go back and grab if you can't find it, can't remember where it is, that type of thing. All right. Well, I think I covered everything for today with our easy bunny garland project. And I do hope you will join me in about an hour or so over at sewingonline.sulky.com, where I will be going live at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I know I will see a lot of you there, and I so appreciate that. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Be sure to come back next Tuesday for another So What. And I forgot to mention today's giveaway is a assortment pack of Felty. That's right. So as long as you are tuning in and engaging with the post today, engaging with my live stream right now, giving me those great emojis, saying something in the chat. You also need to like us on Facebook if you're watching there, or subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching there, and you will be automatically eligible to win today's gift from Sulky, which is that assortment pack of Felty. So you can make lots of little bunnies in all shades of the rainbow. All right, I almost forgot the giveaway. Every Tuesday we do a giveaway, so be sure to continue tuning into So What for your chance to win. And I will see you all at 2 p.m. Eastern time for our 3